Today, and I'll probably, if I have to repeat a little bit, I will, but you probably saw the um, the vlog. But what's been really up, I think for me, it's been up in our household, um, is really just the narrative, the energy of hard work and struggle. And it's a lot of people really value hard work. They think it's a great work ethic. And I'm not saying that it's bad that we've worked hard, but I'm always willing to push the envelope for a new paradigm, right? A new narrative, a new energy. And I think it becomes more and more possible to consider shifting what hard work would look like. If it were shifted and it moved more into ease, more into flow, because I believe that so many of us are really awakening to the concepts that we are so much more than a 3-dimensional or 4-dimensional being here on Earth. I think that so many people on the planet are starting to seek understanding of more, and if we're multidimensional, then just doing the hard work at the 3D level, hard action, lots of effort, can feel very limiting and exhausting. And so some of what I'll be teaching is going to be very practical, which is what's important, right? Because we want to be able to use it. I'll teach a little process that I like to use. But really, it's very multidimensional in nature. Like, the reason we want to move into this shift from the hard work narrative and the struggle narrative is that it's really a calling for each human being here to tap more into our multidimensional self. And in our multidimensional self and our ability to work with much more of the energy in the field that we exist in, what if the more we do that, the easier it is for us to function on this 3D planet? So if we're functioning in the 3D planet and we're just there, we may do a lot of hard work. But as each of us evolves and we open to new possibilities and we open to the dimensions beyond what we can see and feel and hear and touch, and we become much more multidimensional in our existence here on Earth, I actually do believe our ability to have more ease, more flow, and tap into a creative intelligence is heightened. I'm Chanel Aramilli, and so grateful that you are here. Allow me to walk beside you on this journey as we move from self-discovery to self-mastery, guided by one powerful truth. Everything is energy, and when you shift your energy, every area of your life can transform. Subscribe to my channel and join me as I illuminate the path forward. Remember, you are a powerful healer and creator, so let's awaken to possibilities, shift the energy, and create the miracles you are here to live. And I think there's a few things that I haven't shared slides for a very long time, but I have 2 that I'm going to share. But first, I want you to take a moment, because I always like for us, and for anyone who is new, or for a gentle reminder, the first 20 minutes or so I'll do a teaching. So today's teaching is on how do we move from the energy of hard work and struggle into more and more and more ease and flow. Okay, that's the essence of today's teaching. And then I'm going to go in a little deeper. And then at the end of the teaching, we're going to move into the 10 minutes where we will all hold the energy together in the feeling of whatever it is that we're seeking to heal or seeking to create, the feeling that it's already done. So before I actually go deeper into the teaching, let's each of us take a moment to connect with something that we're really seeking to heal or create. It could be a healing in the body or something we want to create in our life. And just first connect with what it is that you're choosing to create, choosing to heal, and just stay with that. Stay with it as we go through the teaching. And then definitely what we're going to do at the end is we're going to hold the energy that you're seeking is already done. Now, in every one of the teachings that I do here at IPC, the idea is, if we're trying to create something, what are all the things we can change, shift, do, understand that bring us closer and closer to this reality? So, last time I think we touched a little bit on the difference between contraction and expansion, but we also touched on opening to receive, which is a form of expansion. So the more we open to receive, the closer we get to allowing this that we're seeking to come into our reality. So today, if we're seeking to create something, but we're stuck in hard work and struggle, it's going to be hard to get. It's like opposing forces. This wants to come in, and this is like, no, but it has to be really hard. And so we can take a lot of actions and do a lot of things, but if we're fighting up against an energy that says, no, everything should be hard. It should take a lot of effort. That's why today I feel like this was such an appropriate conversation and appropriate teaching. So connect with what you're seeking to accomplish. Now, again, many of us might be wanting to do 10 things. Just stay present to one while we're doing the teaching so it becomes easier to follow. A gentle reminder is that everything in our external reality, meaning our bank account, even our body, our relationship with somebody, our life, that's our external reality. Our external reality is actually a reflection of our internal reality. So if something's not happening out here, it's because something in here is not aligned. I mean, if we could keep it so simple. If something's not shifting in the body, that means something has to shift more deeply within us. If something's not, now, it doesn't mean we're not going to get, a treatment, an alternative treatment, a natural treatment, a medical treatment. I'm not saying any of that, but I'm saying whatever we choose to do to support the body, if we're trying to heal and it's not really happening, something inside within us, in our consciousness, is seeking shift. Something in our energy field is seeking shift. So what's in our external reality matches what's in our internal reality. Well, here's the best part of this. As the internal reality shifts, as we change the consciousness, we change our energy, we change our alignment internally, what we're trying to create becomes easier. But one of the things that we're going to be working on today that will make it easier is if we really shine light on what is it in you that is holding any energy around life has to be hard, healing has to be hard, love has to be hard, money has to be hard, hard work, lots of effort, struggle, no time for rest, no time to play. So each of us may have different things that we've learned, accumulated, believed, accepted. I'm going to name a few. So here are just a few for you to begin connecting with, because this is what we're going to begin shifting when I bring up the slides. So if something has felt hard to do, then obviously we have to shift the hard work narrative so that whatever we're trying to create can become easier. One of those things is perhaps the belief that in order to be successful, you have to work hard. How many of us have heard that growing up? I know I did. To be able to have, get through a really good university, you have to work hard to get into graduate. You have to work really hard. And I'm not saying hard work was worthless, because it got us to where we are. But what if there's a new way forward? Okay, so we're not going to beat ourselves up for how hard we worked. We're going to start opening up to what's possible next. So one is, was it related to your belief systems around success? Because if it is, we get to now reevaluate that, and we have the capacity to shift that. It's just energy. It got learned, and now we're going to unlearn it, and then we're going to relearn something new, which is called ease. We're going to talk about awareness and alignment soon. Another reason we may work hard is because we have believed that we're not good enough if we're not working hard enough. So this would be a self-worth issue. So then we have to start evaluating, if I'm not healing or I'm not able to create that next level in my career and my bank account, do I have a low self-worth issue that has to shift? Because if I'm working hard to prove my worth, then what I have to actually heal is my self-worth. So then the hard work starts to shed. The third could be a need for kudos. I know there was some time in my life where I liked to talk about how hard something was for me and that I accomplished it. I succeeded. It was so hard. It was so grueling. I would never wish it upon anyone, but I did it. And then I would hear a lot of kudos. Nice. Wow, Chanel, you're so strong. You're so... And sometimes we need that when we don't have enough self-love for ourselves, that we wait for everyone else to show us that we're lovable, that we're good. So if we're seeking kudos from our hard work, we may want to reevaluate if we're willing to give ourselves kudos instead when something happens easily. You know, when you're talking to a friend or a family member, you're like, oh my God, it was so hard. It was such a terrible weekend. And you want everybody's sympathy and their empathy, and you want them to feel like, wow, look at how great you are. Instead, if you just said, oh, it was so easy, people will be like, well, her life is easy, but mine's not. But listen, what if we all were to choose to say, who the heck cares what other people think? If I could do something with more ease, I would love to tell somebody that I did it with less effort. Wouldn't you? Assuming you have good self-worth and that you love yourself enough that you don't need other people to tell you that. The other is, I've seen often, are programs underneath around suffering. So if we were taught, and I knew when I was growing up that I heard this a lot, which is you suffer to salvation. It's a form of achieving enlightenment in this lifetime. That if you suffer enough, you can achieve enlightenment. So wow, I was actually aligned with a suffering program that I had to dismantle. And of course, suffering and hard work are very hand in hand. They go hand in hand. So I would encourage you, if you heard that suffering was important or good or the way forward. I'm not saying we don't suffer. I'm saying we may have suffered or we may be suffering. But what if that's the calling to rise above it? And not the prescription for the rest of your life that you have to have. And along with the program of suffering is often sometimes the program that you don't deserve joy. And hard work is a great way to avoid joy. Because you work so hard, you finally get what you want, but you're too tired to enjoy it. Or you're too sick to enjoy it. Because you work so hard that you're now depleted or unwell. So these are just some. But I really will encourage you over the next couple weeks to focus on how you relate to hard work. How has it served you? What kudos did it provide? Does it relate to a family story of suffering that maybe it's time to let that story go so that you can step into a new story? So when we move further and further away from the hard work and we say, wait, what I really want is more ease in the way I heal and more ease in the way I create things. I want you to imagine right now that you're putting ease into your GPS on your phone because it's a destination. It's like an easeful life. Whatever I'm creating, whatever I'm healing, whatever's next, what if it could be easier? What happens when we set these intentions, then we assume that every next step is going to be easeful. And I'm just going to forewarn you because I've experienced it. Now, I don't believe it has to be this way, but if it is, don't resist it. Sometimes what we put in our GPS as ease, for example, and then we wake up the next day and we're like, we had such a hard day. We're like, this stuff doesn't work. Forget it. No, it's not that it doesn't work. It's that you have a destination, but you got to drive that path to get there. You may have to take a right turn and a left turn. You may notice like something on that road that you know was yours that you need to look at, like an old story of yours. And so when we put something in the destination and what we want, everything that isn't aligned with that is going to want to show up. That's not bad. It may feel tough, but it's not bad. It's just a way to clear the path to get to your destination. So the message in this is never give up. Hold in your heart and in your mind and in your GPS, which is God's perfect system within us. It's the global positioning satellite on the phone, but it's God's perfect system inside that says, that's what you want. You know what? I'm going to do my best to help you get there. But you're going to have to take a right turn and a left turn, and sometimes there's going to be a traffic jam. But you stay on your path. And so I'm going to show you these slides because let's see if, give me a second. Let me share. Okay. All right. Can everyone see that? Has anyone heard this 80-20 rule for hard work? Like if you do 80% action, you just work hard. Like 80% of your day, you should be working really hard. You should take a ton of actions. And then sometimes when things aren't working, then okay, take a few minutes, take 20% of your day and be like, what the heck is going on? Do I need to change something? But 80% of your day are working hard. What would happen if we did that differently? What would happen if we looked at something that I like to teach, which is the AAA battery to supercharge your reality? So the AAA battery, because I love acronyms, really is just, the first thing is awareness. So remember in the other narrative, it's 80% hard work, 20% reevaluate what's going on. We're flipping that here. This 80%, 10% is awareness. What does that mean? That means we have to pause long enough to understand what is our external reality showing us. Like, am I scattered? Am I pushing up against some limitations? Am I going in the wrong direction? And we start to become aware, like I'm noticing that I'm working a lot harder than I need to and I'm exhausted. Maybe I need to pause and take 10% of my time to become aware. Like, what's happening? Why is healing so hard in my body? I had to do that. And then the next 70%, this is the crux of the work, is to come into internal alignment with something new. So we're doing 80%, but instead of 80% action, now we're actually doing 80% inner work. Some of that inner work is to become aware, and some of that inner work is to create the shift. So not to complicate things, but I'm going to tell you here, how do we come into alignment? Because remember, I want to make this as easy as possible. Is my cup of tea. So we have a AAA battery that talks about awareness, alignment, and the third one is actually action. It's 20%. We know action, right? That's like, I gotta make a phone call so that I can, reach out to that CEO. I've got to submit a resume, my action. I'm going to go to my functional medicine doctor. That's an action step. I'm going to go buy a supplement. I'm going to go move my body. These are actions. But instead of 80% being outer actions, we're doing 80% inner action. What we're doing is we are wiring our internal reality so that whatever action we take towards healing, towards creating, is less effort. Most often our hard work story is because we're not aligned internally. And we're taking a bunch of actions in a 3D reality, trying really hard to get it to work, but inside we are not aligned. I'm going to give you an example Because you see, in this alignment, that's our inner work. So this 80% is our inner work. Now we're moving to only 20% action. And the inner work doesn't have to be hard. We become aware. Maybe we journal, maybe we sit and reflect a little bit. Maybe we actually do a shavasana and we allow an awareness to come in. But in the cup of tea, to keep it simple, the things we want to shift are our thoughts, our emotions, and yes, the way we act. Our thoughts and emotions, past and present, are really important. I'll give you an example of what happened to me during the 30 days of that pre-sale campaign, which pushed me way out of my comfort zone for my book, because I was having to do one-on-one outreach. And in 30 days, I far exceeded what I expected to generate in my campaign. So it was supposed to be 15, and I think I exceeded over 30K. But I'll tell you, there were days where I was working hard, and I paused and I said, okay, today was a day where I worked really hard, and I lost sight that I was working hard. And then that next day, I said, I'm not starting my day the same way. I'm actually going to sit in awareness. I'm going to shift some thoughts and feelings that I'm having about the campaign, about having to reach out, about asking for things. I did a whole bunch of shifting internally, and then I took an action step, and voila, I would get a result that I didn't get the day before, even though I was working harder. So I actually do practice this also in my life. I'm not perfect. I have days where I'm working way too hard. But those are the moments where we have to pause and say, let me do something different. Like I did that this morning. I did something different because I was like, this is too much work and I'm not getting the results that I'm seeking. So 80%, 10% is awareness. When I say awareness, it's just like seeing the ice cube in the freezer. I see it. I see my program. I had to work really hard to be successful. Now I want to make more money without having to work so hard, but I'm so programmed into needing to be, successful and working hard. So I have to shift this. I'm aware. Then I actually have to sit and shift it within me. I have to see the program. I have to feel into it. I have to release it back to wherever I may have learned it. That's the shift work. This is the alignment work. And then we would take an action. So that was it in terms of slides. I just wanted to keep it simple, but just a visual for you to see. So we're going to come back for a moment to what it is you're choosing to create right now. Okay, a healing, a project, more money, more peace. What are you seeking to create? And I want you to hold that in your heart. And I want you to really connect, because in just a few moments, I'll be starting the Choku-rei. And when I start the Choku-rei, hang on just a sec. Okay. When I start the Choku-rei, I am going to have the timer on for 10 minutes, and it'll be an instrumental that you'll be listening to. And during that time, your responsibility, in the best way that you can, be kind and gentle, is to keep your energy and focus on how it feels that it's already done. So remember, when in IPC, I like doing a couple things. I like teaching ways that we can shift energy. I also like teaching the concept of holding an energy and a frequency and allowing that energy to bring manifestation into your life. So it's kind of a bit of both. We're not going to just sit all day and just wait for it to show up. We're going to do some of our inner work and our inner alignment, but then we're also going to take time holding what it feels like that it's already done. That's the less effort. Feeling the gratitude, feeling or seeing yourself walking on the beach if you haven't done that in a long, long time and that feels right for you or good. Receiving, a larger paycheck. Seeing a home that you're trying to sell with a sold sign on it. Just whatever that is. If you're feeling something in your body that's been not in balance, that you're noticing how much more ease there is. So feel the gratitude, feel the relief. You can hold an image or you can just hold the feeling. And we're going to do that for 10 minutes together. And then at the end, for those who wish to stay, we will discuss chat, say hello. I will answer questions, whatever that is. Does anyone have any questions before we start the Choku-rei for 10 minutes? Okay, I'm going to also invite you to remember to open the back of your chest up to receive. So when you're breathing in, not only is the front of your chest opening, I want you to open the back of your chest to receiving. Imagine that anything that kept that door closed from receiving healing, from receiving love, from receiving insight, from receiving this miracle that you're seeking, that you're asking for that to be lovingly opened, that you're choosing to receive. And you want to keep that open as best you can while you're in the space. You want to hold the energy that it's done, maybe a soft smile on your face. And we shall be back together in just a few moments. Let me share. Okay, here we go. 10 minutes, remembering that everything that you are holding is a frequency that you are emitting, and everything that someone else is emitting is a frequency you can receive. We're all holding the gratitude, the relief, the joy of whatever it is, whatever miracle being here for each and every one of us. So just open to the amplified energy that we're here together sharing. Just breathe in gratitude. Just feel what it feels like to say thank you for that miracle already being here. With ease, with grace, with love. Let your body soften into it. Release any tension and just allow that energy in. Letting go of all resistance through all time and through all dimensions. And allowing this miracle to be received by each and every one of us. And so it is. Just take your time. Slowly wiggle your fingers, your toes, maybe open your eyes. Stretch if your body feels like stretching. Yawn if you need to yawn. The body loves to be able to integrate what it's bringing in and release what it no longer needs. And I know sometimes after this, some people are just really ready to get off and go into their sweet evening or into sweet slumber, and I completely honor you for that and love you for being here. And I hope that you will come and bring others. The next one is on July 28th, same time, same place. You'll receive information if you've been registered.